The objective for this video is to test the difference between means for dependent samples using the p-value method and the TI graphing calculator. In a previous video, we showed how to conduct a hypothesis test for data values that are presented in matched pairs. In the problem, pre-test and post-test scores were compared to see if there was an improvement for students who engaged in tutoring sessions in an effort to improve their skills. Since the data values are matched pairs, the technique for testing improvement begins with finding the differences in each pair. It is important that the orientation of the differences is established at the beginning and remains consistent throughout the problem. It was decided that Group 1 would be represented by the pre-test score values and Group 2 would be represented by the post-test score values. This leads to the null hypothesis, mu sub d equal to 0, and alternative hypothesis, mu sub d less than 0. In this case, the claim is in the alternative hypothesis. We will use the TI graphing calculator to find the p-value for this hypothesis test. We will begin by pressing Stat 1 in order to access the lists. It has been decided that the pre-test scores would be Group 1, and therefore those scores have been entered into the first list. The post-test scores will be Group 2, and they have been entered in the list. It is important that they are entered in the same order that they were presented so that the matched pairs remain the same. We should then use the cursor to highlight the heading for list 3. We will fill this list with the differences in the paired data values by pressing second 1 minus second 2. This will fill the list with the differences in the matched pairs. Now press Enter. The third list should now contain the differences between the paired values. Now press Stat, cursor over to Tests, and press 2 for t-test. Since we will conduct this test with data in a list, we should make sure that data is highlighted and press Enter. Cursor down to the hypothesized mean. In this case, the hypothesized mean should be 0. Press Enter. In the list prompt, we should specify list 3. We can do that by pressing second 3 and then Enter. Cursor down to the list of inequalities and choose the one that appears in the alternative hypothesis. In this case, it is less than. Press Enter. Cursor down, highlight Calculate, and press Enter. The p-value is given to us as 0.0012 when we round to 4 decimal places. Note also that this process provides us with the t-test value -4.172 when rounded to 3 decimal places. So the p-value is 0.0012. Recall that if the p-value is less than alpha, we should reject the null hypothesis. In this case, alpha is 0.01. Since the p-value is less than alpha, we should reject the null hypothesis. Our conclusion, then, should be at a 0.01 level of significance, there is enough evidence to support the claim that the sessions help to improve the student's mathematical skills. In this video, we learned how to test the difference between means for dependent samples using the p-value method and the TI graphing calculator.